The markets have definitely shifted since the beginning of the year. Buyers are a lot more cautious, and in many cases, many buyers are now sitting on the sidelines waiting to see where prices will head after a series of rate hikes and government budget announcements. We're still in an environment where there's many unknowns, like how many more rate hikes are coming and how this will affect real estate, how new measures targeting speculators and foreign buyers might reduce demand, and how new plans to boost demand might also tie into the big picture. On the listing side, listing strategies that have been working well for the past 2 years are starting to work less well. Specifically, listing low and putting offer dates doesn't necessarily attract the buyer party that sellers were used to seeing, and many properties are staying on the market for longer than expected. So in this video, I'm going to talk about where we think the Toronto real estate market is headed very soon. Before I continue, if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that you can see more videos like this made specifically for real estate investors in Toronto. I wouldn't say prices have shifted because they really haven't yet. Sellers are still hanging onto the thought of higher prices from a couple months ago, and we still haven't seen a big change in terms of supply and demand. One reason might be because listings haven't spiked drastically yet. Typically, sellers usually hold back before the Easter long weekend because they know that with the long weekend, there will be fewer buyers. Many sellers like to wait until after the Easter weekend to list, and this usually signals the start of a real estate spring market boom. But this year is special. We're seeing fewer buyers in the spring market. So if you combine that with a potential flood of new listings, this is where you should be closely monitoring the market to start looking for bigger price drops coming soon. I think where we're headed is actually very similar to what we experienced back in 2017. In April of 2017, the Greater Golden Horseshoe area started imposing a new non-resident sales tax of 15% for all non-Canadian real estate buyers in an attempt to cool a very heated real estate market, which worked. This was also combined with a series of aggressive rate hikes. The Bank of Canada started raising rates in July of 2017 and ended in October of 2018. In a little bit more than a year, we saw a total rate hike of 125 basis points. The impact of this was pretty different across various markets in Toronto. The type of property that was the most affected were detached properties in Toronto, dropping a whopping 25% in price from the peak in April to the lows in August. Semis also dropped close to that amount by 21%. The market that was least affected were condos, which only dropped by 8% by July of 2017. Now we know most prices definitely dropped very quickly within a short period of time, with freeholds, especially the end-user detached markets, being the most affected. But the pace of recovery was also different between these markets. The detached market took the longest time to recover, and so if you bought at the peak of 2017, you would have only recovered your losses by 2021. Condos didn't take as much effort to bounce back because it really didn't drop a lot to begin with. Basically, prices got back to the peak prices of April of 2017 by early 2018. Investment freeholds in Toronto are always an interesting market, and I usually use semis as a broad gauge. Semis had a comparably substantial drop just like the detached properties, but they also saw the highest rate of recovery. Take a look at this. If you bought at the bottom of July of 2017 when prices were the most discounted for all of the markets, then by March of 2018, you would have had the best growth in semis and then condos. Condos are more of a luxury market, so their rent yields are lower than freehold and they typically don't cash flow. What you end up with is that in terms of total returns, semi-detached properties would have performed the best by March of 2018. Next, let's take a look to see how returns looked like a year after that in March of 2019. Again, semis continued to outperform condos in terms of price growth, while detached properties continue to lag the most. As a result, semis remained the best performers as of March of 2019. Now let's look one more year later, in March of 2020, right before COVID knocked real estate markets out of whack with astronomical rates of growth. We still have the price growth of semis still outperforming condos slightly and the detached market still lagging. The rent yields on semis continue to be the best, so from a total return standpoint, semis continue to be the best medium-term performer out of these three markets in Toronto. So, what does this mean for real estate investors in 2022? To address your likely first question, yes, we do expect prices to drop in the coming weeks. As a real estate owner, maybe that's not great news, but if you are in the market to buy, this must be very good news. Over the coming weeks, many buyers and sellers are still very fearful, and that's when you'd be able to get the best discounts out there. If markets act in a similar way compared to 2017, then we expect this discounted window of opportunity to be pretty short for the investment real estate markets. After that, prices will start coming up again as buyer confidence comes back. So if you want the best property selection and the biggest dip in prices, you have to act pretty quickly in the coming weeks. We've been analyzing submarkets in core Toronto, and we've noticed some pockets that might recover even faster than the broader Toronto semi-detached market. So if you're looking to invest in real estate and want our sales team to help you out, let's chat and sort out a roadmap for success. During our initial meeting, we'll take the time to get to know your requirements and your preferences so that we can match you up with the best investment property that fits your needs. After we help you buy it, our team also provides renovations guidance, leasing, and property management if you need it. So just connect with us if you want to learn more about our services by heading to the link in the description below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and look for us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn if you want to hear from us more regularly. I wish you all the best in your real estate investing journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.